there, Randy.
Yes, this is Monique and her husband Jamel and Francine and Gilbert, whose wife will be joining us shortly. So that's our happy little group here. The right people always show up. That's what I say. So I'm going to share my screen right off so we can get started here. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. This is Madeline Zaworski. She's an amazing lady who I met through Nikken. And she's been a nurse for many years, and she teaches nursing, and she's been a nurse administrator, a hospital administrator, and she's just a lot of fun and knows so much stuff. So I'm really excited to have her join us here. And so I'm going to do a short introduction so you get an overview of Nikken, and then I'm going to let her take over and tell you some more. We're going to chat about the nutritionals in particular because that's the focus of the new product launch today. Okay, so we're calling this Active Wellness World Tour. We started in December and January, and let me just see if I can. There's some noise here, so I need to mute. Here we go. Okay. There we go. So the Everyday Weight Management Program is what we're introducing today, but we're going to give you a real overview of Nikken. So I actually discovered Nikken 19 years ago, and it's really about active wellness, getting involved in your own wellness program, because nobody knows you as well as you do, and nobody takes responsibility the way you do for your own health. And when we go to medical professionals, you know, they're looking at different aspects, but only us can put it all together, and they don't focus so much on just natural support for your health. And that's what Nikken does. It brings nature back to us. When we live indoors, over 90% of the time, we're on concrete and asphalt, and we're in metal, and 19 years ago, it was just the electric. But now there's Wi-Fi, we've got microwave towers everywhere, we've got our computers in our hands and on our hips, and so we're really exposed to a lot of alien energies. So Nikken brings us back to the natural energy. It's very exciting. And the lifestyle that we choose determines over time whether we are going to be humans being more, which is the motto of the country, of the company Nikken, or humans under stress, where we just can't achieve our potential because we're not sleeping well, we have aches and pains, we have trouble focusing, that kind of thing. So it's not huge decisions like, oh, I'm going to go lose 40 pounds or I'm going to join a fitness club. It's the choices we make every day. Do we drink enough water? Do we get to sleep on time? Do we have a good environment for sleep? Do we make good eating choices? The body burden today is worse than it was 19 years ago. Stress is the biggest killer. It impacts heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, headaches, fatigue, allergies, depression, anxiety, sleep, and weight problems. And all the research shows that our stress reaction, if we're in chronic stress, it's hard for the body to resist disease and chronic illness. Sleep, 70% of Americans have sleep issues. One poor night's sleep drops your immune system by 30 to 60%. So they tell students that's why they get sick after they stay up late studying for exams. And so many of us are professionals that, work overtime, and we end up having trouble sleeping because our brains won't go to sleep. So we need to do something to create the right environment for that to happen. Air and water, it's in the news all the time. Hi, Michelle, how are you? Oh, watch it. Outdoor air can be even better than indoor air now, because we closed up our houses so that we save on heating and cooling, but all the chemicals that people bring into their houses just accumulate in the air. And also the positive ions, which are not positive for our health, accumulate. So if we can get the negative ions, like by a waterfall or a fountain or a forest, we breathe a lot easier. So having a really good air system that produces those negative ions can really be good. And then the water contamination, we were talking about that earlier, 260 contaminants found in tap water and thousands actually found in bottled water around the country. And you'll find kids don't even drink tap water because it tastes so bad. They just don't want to drink it, but they love drinking our water. So speaking of kids, of course, the children suffer the most from our less than perfect lifestyles, and the obesity rate is at 1/3 now. It's quite amazing. 1 out of every 5 adults is obese, and 1/3 is overweight, I should say. And we know it's because of too much junk food and not of the right nutrients and not enough exercise. Less than half of adolescents get the right amount of vegetables, and low-income families, of course, have it worse: more anxiety, more depression, less access to healthy foods, and they're often targeted with junk food advertising. And only 27.1% of high school children report getting the right amount of activity. And I fell in love with Nikken because I'd been a family counselor. I was originally a lawyer. Then I became a family counselor when I wanted to be with my kids. And I started writing parenting books. And when I found Nikken, it was such a great idea to make it easy for people to create a healthy environment in their homes. Get a good night's sleep for the kids so they woke up energized, so they would eat a good breakfast, drink good water, take some good vitamins, and have a good day and be able to sleep at night. So it's about being healthy by choice, not by chance. If we just leave it up to chance and, buy our food on Amazon or whatever, it's not going to keep us healthy. So we need to choose active wellness and learn how to take care of ourselves. We call it self-care, and then make our choices based on that. So this is where Nikken comes in. It's the only global comprehensive approach to natural health. It's very exciting. They started in Japan, the healthiest country in the world, back in 1975. And from the beginning, they had this philosophy that living a life in balance requires abundance and balance in all 5 of these areas: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And when I saw this, I said, well, okay, we were both lawyers in Philadelphia, and we gave it up because it just was not a lifestyle that was going to give us enough time together and enough time to raise our kids. So we were basically sacrificing big money for healthy mind and healthy body and healthy family. But if any of these is weak, the others start to suffer. And so we got very excited when we saw that Nikken wants you to have it all. And it takes work to get there, but it's worth it. And so Nikken starts with the mind and body, having a real positive approach towards active wellness and humans being more. And then the products help you create the healthy body. And then if you're interested in the business, you have more time for the family, but at least the family's healthier with the products. Mm-hmm. And then you can give back to society and finances if you choose the Nikken business. So let me keep going here. So active wellness, Nikken gives you the advantage. And they started out with the insoles, the magnetic energy, came up with a sleep system, and then the water system, and a wonderful line of top of the line nutritional and food-based, organic-based nutrition. And I was so excited to see that because in the 80s I got certified for nutrition for my family and for my family health practice. And I was delighted that Nikken was at the cutting edge of nutrition as well. It's quite exciting. So we'll talk some more about that with Madeline. And then they developed a light, which I'll show you later on, and an air system. And I had a feng shui expert come in and check out the house. And she went into our basement. She said it was the first basement she'd ever been in that didn't have bad vibes. And she said she thought it was because of the air system that we had down there to keep it clean in the basement. So this is a quick overview of the products. We'll take a little home tour afterwards, but we have nutrition and skincare that's all organic based. The nutritionals are food based. They add no fillers, no additives, no sugar, no coloring, no preservatives. It's quite amazing. And the skincare is like that too. And it's totally amazing. And you said your mom was interested in taking care of her hair follicles. So we'll show you some of that a little later. The environment, you've already tasted the water. It's phenomenal. That the little thing on the right there is called the waterfall because it does everything that a natural waterfall does. And they discovered these waterfalls in the high mountains of Japan that magnetized and alkalized and energized the water after it was purified coming up from the mountain streams. So they put this together, call it the waterfall, and it's very simple to use. We had one here, but I took it to California to another house. But we have the old system here. And then we have a shower system because a lot of the water we take in through our skin, and if it's chlorinated, we take in the chlorine and we get all those horrible chlorine compounds. So you can have major skin problems just from showering. And one of my friends had, in the winter, he would get all kinds of eczema and everything. As soon as he started using the shower system, after a week or two, it went away. So he was really getting irritated by the tap water coming out of his shower. The air system filters in 5 different ways, and then it produces the good negative ions without producing any ozone. And it's the only major unit on the market that doesn't produce ozone at the same time as producing the negative ions. It took them 3 years to figure out how to do that, but they did it. Nikken's basically a research and development company. We do the marketing. And then the light is, you've heard of full spectrum lights, you get the full spectrum, but this takes it another step. It's LED, so it doesn't flicker, and it has extra blue, which helps you normalize your day-night cycle. So that's particularly important for people who have odd hours, and more people do because they're financially stressed and taking extra jobs and stuff. So then the core of the product line, in my opinion, is the rest and relaxation. That's where Nikken started, and it's still so unique to know how to put us back in that natural magnetic field. So we have the little square that Gilbert was talking about for the back, and the insoles, and that's the sleep system, a tiny version there, but it's a mattress pad that's all natural, organic, sustainable material and has magnets interspersed, so you're in a cocoon of good energy. And then the comforter gives you far infrared energy, which is the warming, balancing energy of the sun. And then it also puts off the negative ions because there's some crystals in there that when they move, they emit the good negative ions, so it makes it easier to breathe at night. So, and then there's a pillow that does all of those things too. So we'll share some stories later on because I can't wait to hear Michelle's story. I always love hearing it, but I want to bring Madeline on in a moment. I want to just go through this really quickly to share with you about the Everyday Weight Management Program, which Nikken has just introduced. And we like to say that it's not what you lose, it's what you gain, because you may want to lose weight, and you will, but the main way to do it is you cleanse and detox, you balance your metabolism and your brain function, and you energize. So you don't have to stay awake with caffeine and sugar. You actually feel good all the time. So they call it every day because you could do this the rest of your life. And we use it. Neither of us have weight problems, either plus or minus, but we use all of these things because it keeps us healthy. It's a way of making sure you're balanced and energized. So why organic based? Well, there's lots of good reasons. You don't get the antibiotics, you don't get the growth hormones, you don't get the high fructose corn syrup, you don't get the dyes, you don't get the artificial sweeteners, synthetic GMO foods, and sewage sludge can actually end up in our food these days, and irradiation. Irradiated foods have unidentified radiolytic products in them. Nobody knows what they are.
Well, what was that?
Yeah. They irradiate a lot of our food just to kill bugs, but anything that kills bugs eventually kills us. That's what they don't tell us, because we're made of cells just like every bug. So it's a stress on every cell. If it kills bugs, it's a stress on our cells, which over time, because of the accumulated body burden, can really bring on chronic disease. So the detox and cleansing function, stabilize your diet and burn fat. That's all about balance. And energizing, increasing your metabolism, making it easier to exercise and easier to sleep. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail here. I'm sure you guys know what it takes. Drinking plenty of water, minimizing environmental toxins, and consuming lots of vegetables, keeping your refined carbohydrates low, and eating enough protein, avoiding too many processed fats, and using organic, balanced food, snacks, and enough sleep. So these are the two supplements that come with this program: the Cleanse and Detox, which has a lot of the milk thistle and other herbs that have been known for centuries to help detoxify the liver. And then the digestion has, it doesn't have any animal products, but it digests all the 4 major food groups. The fat, the protein, the carbohydrates, and the fiber. So it helps get your whole metabolism going. And they used to have a liver supplement, and this is basically replaces that, because they've added some extra herbs, more milk thistle, and some of the important vitamins that support liver function, because we get so many toxins going through our systems now. We really need to support our livers. And they find the milk thistle helps kidneys too. Some of the most recent research says that. And the core of this everyday program is the Kinsen Vital Balance. And Nikken's had a meal replacement for many years, but this is the best ever because it tastes great, and it also has it is sweetened only with the monk fruit, which has been known for centuries in Asia to be sweet without any caloric content and no stimulation of the pancreatic or insulin system. And it also has moninja fruit, which is also famous in Asia for being a very high nutrient herb. So they use whole foods as much as possible. And it, like I said, it tastes great. That has unique protein because it's organically grown pea protein, which is very bioavailable. And then also from sustainably grown, organically grown palm kernel oil, they get the medium chain triglycerides, which is getting a lot of attention today because it feeds the brain. It keeps the energy flow from the brain, because it's when our blood sugar drops and the brain isn't getting what it needs that we crave carbohydrates. But when you get the MCTs, the brain uses them for energy, so it doesn't crave carbohydrates. So it's an amazing combination. And then for snacks, these are, you're all going to get some. So there's only 3 to 4 ingredients in each of these snack bars, which is amazing. They're organic based. They're called paleo because they go back to Paleolithic times. These are foods that our great-great-grandparents would recognize, or couple thousand years ago. Like the chocolate is chocolate and pineapple, no, not pineapple, pineapple's in tropical, chocolate, almonds, walnuts, and dates. And the cherry, I just had that for the first time. It just came this morning, thank goodness. It's only cherry, date, and almond, and it tastes fantastic. And then the tropical is the pineapple and date and walnut and what's the other one? Date, almond, and coconut, right?
A fig? Is there a fig in that one? No.
Oh, is there figs? I don't know. So then one of my favorite things is a 10-4 energy drink, because kids are getting hooked on these horrible energy drinks that give them ups and downs, and they mix it with junky stuff, and a lot of them have so much sugar in them and coloring and you name it. This is just the pure matcha tea from Japan, and it does have some caffeine, but it's in the whole tea leaf so that your body takes it in gradually. You get steady energy. There's no drop, there's no buzz, but you just feel good. So, and there's nothing else added. So it's truly amazing. So Nikken has suggestions for meal plan. I'm just going to go through them, a few healthy suggestions. And so you can buy a month's supply for $10 a day, which is less than you're going to spend on breakfast, lunch, and snacks in general. So it's an amazingly low price thing, and you can even get it for low price if you buy 3 months at once. So that's about it. I'm going to invite Madeline to come on, and I'm going to introduce her. So I'm going to stop the share for a minute. Hi, Madeline.
Hi, Randy. My pleasure to be here this evening in your living room. And this is one of the advantages of being a collaborative entrepreneur. Randy and I have 19 years of experience with Nikken as well. You heard that I had an extensive healthcare background. And much to my surprise, the kitchen that I started in at 85 cents an hour in 1964 when I was a high school student ended up being a senior vice president of a system that hospital was part of. Wow. And was outplaced. Actually, it was on Holy Tuesday in 1996. So it was one of those experiences of to he and to thee, but not to me. And at that time is when I realized how much my life was out of balance. So I'll address a little bit of that as we go through the slides. So when I was, just to share, you don't need to be a former Philadelphia lawyer and a family therapist, nutritionist, or a nurse to share Nikken. In fact, for Randy and I, because of our educational background, it's probably been difficult to transition from those professional roles into what in most of our 19 years has been called being a professional network marketer. Well, the industry has changed, and what's happened is it's really the way that we market the products of this wonderful global research and development company is by doing what we're doing now, inviting people and sharing, offering choices, and then people are going to make their own choices. And so now we're able to share it in these new ways, and with the help of lots of YouTube videos in the palm of our hand with our app. And the change from the old network marketing system to what we're calling a hybrid now, where customers can be free. They don't have to pay for a membership. Prices are lower. Most of the prices, almost all of them, are less than we've paid for the last 19 years. The waterfall is less, the sleep system's less, the seat cushion that I'm sitting on is less. And so for the most part, the products are less for customers that want to be healthy customers. And so we gather customers by doing what we're doing tonight. But for many people, it's just like when you go to a good movie or to a good restaurant or where you bought a dress or something, you tell other people. So in the instance of sharing, we're now called collaborative entrepreneurs. And for all of us, that's better than being a network marketing professional. I think most people kind of back off because is that one of those pyramid things? And actually, the hospital that I worked in, whether I was in a dietary aide or a senior vice president, somebody above me made more. And for my last 19 years, from my first month, actually, I ended up earning more and being 2 ranks higher than the nurse who sponsored me. And the last part of that story is it took her 2 years to sponsor me. When I was first outplaced, she had been one of my assistant directors. And when she called to tell me about this wonderful opportunity, because her heart's pumping function, my master's in nursing and most of my clinical practice was in coronary care, cardiovascular, I didn't believe her. when she said, and at that time, 19 years ago, it was the sleep system only and a few magnetics. We didn't have the water, we didn't have the air, we didn't have many of the items the good nutrition that we have today, for sure. So anyway, when she called, I said, are you kidding? I'm not going to do that. I'm in corporate outplacement. Well, corporate restructuring was happening in healthcare and the position wasn't to be found. So it was 2 years later. So I encourage those of you that are here tonight at Randy's, or who may be listening to this video in the future, to experience, visit the person who invited you, experience, invest in some products and use them so that you have a story of your own. Jerry, I didn't see her for the 2 years. She would mail me before Zoom videos like this. She mailed me the old audio cassette, a VHS, and I had them in a bag, and I was going to meet her 2 years later to return them because, she kept calling. She was persistent about calling. And when I saw her and could see the difference in her health, I had known her since 1966. This was 1998. She looked better than she had in the 20 years before. She had gone from taking 14 medications to 3, and she had come off of a waiting list for heart-lung transplant. Wow. And so 3 hours later, I bought a pair of insoles from her, and here I am today. So I'm going to clip through a few slides. When Randy introduced this tonight, she started with we're relaunching the company, so to speak, in order to attract a new generation, active wellness, and because of so much of what's happened with the economy. So there's a few slides that I'm going to clip through, and then you're there this evening to enjoy her beautiful home and to sample the new weight management program and maybe something else. I don't know. Are you going to sample Jade Greenzymes and Siaga juice too, Randy?
I hope so, yes.
Well, good. Well, I wish I were there with you.
Yes. Let me get...
Now, while she's pulling up the slide presentation, is there any question that anyone might have from what I just shared from the audience there?
I'm in trouble finding this. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, can you see that, Nikken Choice?
It isn't up yet. Nope, it's not. Do you have to, you probably have to screen share.
You got it now? Oh.
Nope, you have to click on the screen share and then pull it up. Maybe the other one, did you close out the other one completely?
Let's see, please move this one down.
Might have to stop the other one and click on this one.
Oh, really? It seems to be going. So you don't see that yet?
Nope.
Your screen sharing.
I see, what I see is your,
I
see you clicking on it. It's highlighted. The Nikken Choice is highlighted, but it hasn't opened up.
There we go. Okay, hold on. See it now? It's paused. That's weird.
Yeah, it's paused. Maybe if you just close out of that screen and back into it again.
Okay.
If not, I could try to open it up from my end and screen share.
Let's see. Okay, let me stop the share. And
the only problem are the technical problems with some of this. But
yes, right.
It's still pretty neat to be, we were just on a call yesterday, and there was a young woman from Lima, Peru, and we had people from Canada and all over the United States and England. So it was pretty exciting to be able to help one another as collaborative entrepreneurs and get some tips from this young mother in Lima, Peru.
Yeah, that was neat.
Oh my, she's on fire. So Randy and I we're gonna catch up to her, right, Randy?
Right.
And would love to have who's ever there take a serious look at this and go through a process. So it's not going to open up for you?
Apparently not.
Well, let me see if I can find mine.
You're still not seeing that. I just did close all the others. Let's just close this too. Start over again. there's something wrong here.
Let me see if I can do this.
Okay, we're starting over again here.
So you're starting over to see if you can get it up?
Yeah.
Because I think you said that you did something with a couple of the slides, maybe took a couple of the slides out.
Well, that wouldn't have affected it, I don't think.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. Can you see it from my end?
Other screen sharing.
Can you see it from my end, screen sharing?
Yes. Yes. Okay. That's great.
Okay.
Then you can control it because you're speaking about it.
I'm not sure how to get this other part out. How do I get the slide part off on the side? Do you know that? Let me see just the document. If I click on that. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about that?
Great.
Okay, so I'm going to clip through these quickly so that you can enjoy being there. So the Nikken choice is the active wellness. That's everything Randy just talked about, sharing it. So that's where we're able to help healthy society, and we're able to help with improving finances, both for ourselves and for the other people that we help. And so what this slide is showing is that everybody from all walks of life. The oldest consultant is a former bank president, and he just passed away last year, and I think he was 93 or 95 years old, a retired bank president and still quite active. So you can begin at 18 and begin wherever you want to within your wellness home, and there's no ending. Randy spoke to this slide before, and as I mentioned, for me, my family was out of balance because I tend to be a type A workaholic. Finances were good, but I didn't take the time to enjoy them. And so what the past 19 years have meant for me is an opportunity to unwind and focus on balance in these 5 pillars of health. Have time to, today I had my former 90-year-old secretary here helping me clean off my desk. So it was nice to be able to take her shopping and spend some time with her. So I think we'll all agree that modern life is pretty stressful. You can tell by the pictures there, it doesn't matter where you go, the increasing obesity is really creating a lot of issues, unhealthy lifestyle, and much of that is related to stress. People just eat without thinking, go to the refrigerator, and they're just constantly putting something in their mouths. Financial worries, not enough time to relax. The list can go on, and I think everybody there probably knows. But the most important component here is underneath the modern life is creating stress is the line that says the quality of our lives is proportionate to the quality of our emotions. So when we're feeling stressed, it impacts our health. It impacts how we relate to other people. That was that first slide that Randy showed with the trajectory of either you become humans being more, or if you don't make good choices about doing something about the stress, then you become humans being stressed, humans being less. So let's talk a little bit about the financial needs. And you might think about what is the most important financial problem facing your family today. And if not your immediate family, your children, or someone in your family that you know, a neighbor, this may not be for you, but you might think of someone else that you could refer to Randy and that you could be able to help. Some of it is purely the lack of money. For many people, they don't have enough money at the end of the month. There's more month than there is money. For many, it's healthcare costs, and I can speak to that. That's why there's restructuring and cut, even though healthcare costs are going up. So we have, as you know, with our current situation in the United States, a major crisis with healthcare reform, insurance reform, big deductibles, and many people that are uninsured. So who pays for the uninsured? When they go to the hospital emergency room, somebody's paying for them. We are. That just doesn't come out of the sky like manna. Too much debt. Everybody's stuck with student debt, including those many who lose their jobs go out to learn another trade. So there's also re-educating, not just student debt, for our children or grandchildren, like many are helping. I help to educate my nephews, and many people are helping others there as well. The cost of living. We know that the cost of living has increased, but there's an inverse relationship to income. Income is down, cost of living is up. That creates a crisis. For many, it's loss of employment, and we're well aware of that. The stores are closing with the Amazon that has grown. There are Macy's that are closing. Walmarts are closing. Sears, most of us grew up knowing Sears is a household name. So people are losing their jobs on the turnpike. Now we have the drive-through Easy Pass, so there's going to be less employment there. Banking is done online, less employment there. Retirement savings, that's one of the things that's being cut in most people that still have a traditional job. They can add to a 401k. Many people aren't able to do a matching savings plan because they don't have enough income coming in. So, and the other thing is our generation, for those of you in the room that might be over 40, we are going to outlive our children for some of the reasons that Randy mentioned about the crisis with children today. So as we're outliving and there's less children and young adults paying into Social Security, we will be dwindling our retirement savings. I don't remember the exact percentage, but the number of people that have enough money put away in retirement to live the lifestyle that they were living before retirement is very, very, very small. Taxes, if you are self-employed, you have to set aside for taxes in order to pay the taxes. If we work for someone, tax money is taken out, and oftentimes we still have to pay taxes. So here's the opportunity, if you look at the Nikken choice as a possible part-time or a full-time solution. And that is that there's a new trend emergency, and the trend emerging, a new trend emerging. You can tell that I'm emergency. I'm still connected to hospitals. Excuse me. The gig economy. And it's called gig. You can Google it because I learned from my parish priest that in the Depression, when people wanted to earn extra money, they would play a band in a band and do a gig to make some extra money. And it was called gig. Randy, you may not be aware of this because during the Depression, what they said is God is great. G-I-G, for God is great because God gave us an opportunity to make some money. And that carried on. That's what Father Nick told me. How about that?
That's great.
And so here we are today. The way businesses operate is changing. I mentioned some of this. The taxi cabs are like going out of business. We now have something called Uber. So you can get an Uber to pick you up and take you, and so there's no overhead. The person only has to own their own car, and then they become an independent contractor, which is what we are. We're independent wellness consultants with a global, we're calling it a sleeping global giant that is about to awaken. And that's the real opportunity. We're a 42-year-old research-based company that is looking for new people for the second wave of exponential growth. So there are many examples on here of the gig economy, of being an on-demand worker, locum tenens doctors, where they fly here and there and fill in for someone that's on vacation, all the staffing agencies where you can be a temp, ride sharing. So there's a whole lot of ways that people are finding new opportunities to make extra money. The new economy where independent workers have on-demand availability for temporary engagements. The other term for gig is freelance workers versus having a permanent job with the benefits of healthcare and retirement. The new economy wherein independent workers have on-demand availability for temporary assignments. So what does that mean? One of the predictions is that by 2020, we're kind of rapidly going through 2017. Won't be long before in 2020 that 40% of all USA workers will need to have some kind of a secondary source of income. And the summary here, 1 through 7, is the previous slides. So I don't think that I need to read through them again. But number 1 is quite interesting. Randy mentioned that her other waterfall, the new one, is in her California home. So we have an increasingly mobile society. And with the digital age, the example is what we're doing tonight. I'm west of Cleveland, Ohio, and you're on the east side of Pennsylvania. And we have another guest on tonight who's from Texas. Jean and her husband, Dan Brocker, in Texas. So we're able, with this kind of technology, to be able to have a gig right from our living rooms or from our iPads or from the palm of our hand. The millennials are joining the workforce, and for any of you that have children or grandchildren as millennials, they have a whole different way of thinking. They don't have the loyalty. They don't have that loyalty and commitment to much of anything, which is very hard for us. And so for them, no big thing. They see this as, wow, I could do this for a little while, and then I could do that for a little while. And so they view this as something great. So part of our challenge is, how do we reach out and have this opportunity more appealing to the millennials? So collaborative entrepreneurship. I love this. It's I kind of view that we're flicking on a new light. I have the full spectrum light right in front of me now, counteracting the negative EMF. I've learned so much from Randy coming out of my PC. I'm sitting on my seat cushion that has all the technologies in it, and I have my air filter on here. But this light bulb, we have a bright light and an opportunity. And these bullets, I think, are worth listening to. Nikken easily integrates into your life. If you breathe, sit, sleep, read, shower, swallow, wear, walk, as you change those technologies around your body. Now, I could go on about the body electric because of my background in defibrillating patients and coronary care and understanding the body and teaching about the body, both health and dis-ease, out of balance. This concept of a gig is wonderful because the outcomes are improved health, reversing aging, less medications, more energy, better sleep. Who wouldn't want to have that integrated into your life? Low cost of entry and low risk. We view what we're using and living in our environment as an investment, not a cost. It's an investment that is very cost effective over having the side effects of drugs, surgeries, being in a nursing home, all the other things that can happen if you don't make good choices about your own health. The risk is very low. There aren't side effects, there's only benefits. It's called a turnkey entrepreneurship system. For a $99 membership, they've added tax now, $99 plus tax, you have a free website. Prior to this transition with the Nikken choice, we were paying $24.50 a month times 12 months for a website. And for the most part, we weren't utilizing it in the way that we are today with the new free customer membership, which is powerful. The leadership development program, I mentioned that just yesterday, we were on an international 25-minute coaching, and that is online, just as this will be, so that 24/7 with virtual internet, doesn't matter when you have a nook and a cranny for a single parent mom that might be working 2 jobs while she's driving to work or picking up the kids, she can have an earphone in and be listening to all of the wonderful leadership development programs that we have. And so I would say the Nikken choice as a perfect gig is really a perfect gig. God is great. And what a week for it to be Passover and Holy Week. And I covered those 2 major religions. I'm not sure what other week it is, but it's Easter time. So it's the resurrection of spring and the resurrection of our wonderful new company, a new phase in our company. So what do Nikken entrepreneurs do? How about this for a visual? We help pull people up. We are a lifeline. We offer hope. And I get pretty excited about that. We help others make good choices. You can only make the choice for yourself. If it's to be, it's up to me. If I'm going to make good choices, only I can do that. Someone else can't make you make a good choice. You have to make up your mind yourself. And so the little bullets at the bottom, if you utilize the gig economy to offer people opportunity and income, how about that? It's a nice spring present. Teach others to turn purpose, being purpose-driven, into profits. Find and support customers. Everyone wants good customer service. We get upset if we don't get good customer service. And so we work very hard by humans being more, by what we've learned from one another in this collaborative learning community.
Madeline, I think Zoom might cut us off any minute, so I just
okay. So there actually, Randy, you're in very good hands. She can forward this to you. You can go through it. You join Nikken, you share and promote, you invite other people, as she's done this evening. Nikken takes care of the shipping. They do the payroll. They have a backroom computer accounting department available, and you get a direct deposit on the 15th of every month. And there are many other rewards and incentives. This last one, if I could just mention this. Sure. So what you do tonight, there may be 5 or 6 people there. So you invest in some products and become healthier. And then if you share it with a few other people, you might end up with a tree of several people that you've helped. And some of those seeds fall off the tree and they blow over and start another tree. And for many people, they've grown orchards of being able to help the world by being healthier. So the many benefits we've already mentioned. There are leadership benefits, there are incentives and trips, meaningful income, lifestyle bonuses. It used to be a car and a mortgage, and now you can use the lifestyle bonus for college tuition for anything that you want to. It's an extra bonus once you reach a leadership level and help others. And there are cash bonuses in the retail profits. With your $99 membership, if you were to, with that, have a next door neighbor that wants to order direct from your free website, a waterfall, you'll earn a direct deposit for the markup. So the last thing, I guess I have all of this on here. So how about if I leave this go and stop the screen share? And if you want to mention Japan, would you like to mention Japan since, well, I'll put that screen up.
That's
why don't you mention that?
Our incentive this year is to become Team Kaizen, to find 4 leaders who invest in their health basically and share with customers. And in 2018, we are going to go to Japan. There are about 45 of us or more that are committed, but anybody who joins today can do it. It's not that hard.
Actually, I've won 2 trips to Japan, and the first year was in 1998.
Me too. I was there.
From then until now, if you were to join tonight and work with us, you have, let me see, May, June, July, more than 6 months. We had to, in 3 months, do 2.5 times the amount you have to do right now, and you have until the end of the year to do it. So it's very, very possible, especially with this kind of technology. And it's a way to celebrate, to meet people from all over the world. Nikken is a global company. We're in other countries, and everybody that creates new orchards and trees by helping other people has the opportunity to earn the Team Kaizen trip. And there are a couple other incentives, cruises as well.
Sure, yes. Well, thank you, Madeline, so much. You just present it so beautifully. I really appreciate it. And we're going to move on now and try everything. But thank you so much for sharing. This is an amazing opportunity to get healthy and wealthy at the same time, to start with your health, and all kinds of other things emerge, and a wonderful community of collaborative entrepreneurs. So thanks, Madeline. And I'll see you in Orlando in about 10 days.
Thank you for the opportunity, and good night to the guests that are there.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
So, stop the recording. Thank